Hey there guys and gals, Anime Dude here, and though I've been covering each new manga that comes into Weekly Shonen Jump and occasionally ranking them all in various ways, I've been struggling to think of what else I want to do with this channel. There's just so many things that I want to talk about, and I mean I do talk about a lot of things over at twitch.tv/theanimedudeyt. I stream there almost every day. Go drop a follow if you want to be one of the cool kids. But what I mean is that here on YouTube, I have a tendency to make videos in the form of a series, be it character analysis videos, why you should watch videos, new Shonen Jump series videos, or rankings videos. And while that's a tendency I doubt will ever stop, I have so many different series that I read and so much that I want to talk about, and I just feel it's time I start making more random one-off videos on whatever it is I want to talk about at the time. Likewise, today I'm going to try something new by stepping away from my usual videos to talk about my favorite protagonist in all of Jump, who unfortunately is slept on far too often. You see, the last time I ranked every current manga in Weekly Shonen Jump, a lot of people seemed shocked when I put Mission Yozakura Family as my number 4. I mean, it's still a seldom talked about up-and-comer, but I adore it, and I'm guilty of not talking about it enough, so hopefully I can make more videos on it going forward. The point is, one major reason I love the series as much as I do is because of its main character, Taiyo Asano. That's right, my favorite protagonist in Jump isn't Luffy, nor is it Mashal, though I love the heck out of them both, but rather, it's Taiyo. From the very first chapter, he displayed a potential for greatness, and as far as I'm concerned, he has lived up to that every step of the way. At the time of making this video, 84 chapters are out, and I swear he gets more and more epic with each one. Going back to the beginning, he lost his entire family in a car accident, and because of that, he grew to be antisocial. He grew to be withdrawn. He developed a sort of social anxiety to the extent that he'd break out into a cold sweat or pass out if his classmates pushed too hard when trying to talk to him. Aside from his childhood friend Mutsumi, nobody could really get through, and he'd even kept her at a bit of a distance. Why would he keep her at a distance, you may ask? Well, because one moment he was enjoying a car ride with his family, playing a handheld video game of sorts with his younger brother, and the next, he learned two extremely hard lessons. The first was that you don't realize what's most important to you until it's gone, and the second was that the things most important to you can be lost so easily. They can disappear in the blink of an eye. From then onwards, he was scared. Scared that when or if he gets attached to something, he could very well lose that too. Likewise, his decision to keep his distance initially was a relatively easy one to understand. It was a means by which to guard from further anguish like he'd experienced before, and a way to prevent others from ever feeling that way about him. However, we see that his childhood friend Mutsumi was assertive and persistent and reassuring. She was even the one that attended his family's funeral with him and assured him that she wouldn't leave him. There was no helping that they already had a deep bond, and that any attempts to distance himself were fruitless before her and her alone. Likewise, when he saw her make a sad expression while trying to protect him, he manned the heck up in a hurry. He vowed to protect her with everything he had, going so far as to face off against her eldest brother, who's still one of the most powerful and intimidating characters we've come across in the story thus far. Realizing that he still had something precious in his life that he didn't want to lose, and then assuming the responsibility of protecting that special existence is what it took to get Taiyo back on his feet, and what it took to give his life purpose again. Being able to man up like that when it counted was good, because Mutsumi is the next head of the Yozakura family, and dancing with the possibility of death is a daily occurrence for her. You see, the Yozakura family is a family of spies that's produced generations of superhuman individuals ever since the ninja of the Edo period. The person who's born ordinary in each generation becomes the head of the household, and in this case, that's Mutsumi. As someone who will eventually lead the Yozakura family in the underworld, she strives to live a somewhat normal life, acquiring as much knowledge of the outside world as she's able to. The Yozakura family has a lot of enemies, be they hateful or envious or opportunistic, and Mutsumi is technically exposed to all that danger on a daily basis. The fact that she'd always managed to support Taiyo despite that while he was so self-absorbed with his own problems caused him to both admire her more and become tougher on himself. However, while Taiyo is hard on himself and may regard himself as a useless good-for-nothing, he doesn't necessarily have a defeatist attitude, and instead strives to do as much as he can. Whatever he can. Heck, as early as chapter 2, he jumped out of a building to protect Mutsumi once he realized he had a bomb planted somewhere on him. He accepted the ultimate sacrifice in a heartbeat with no hesitation as long as it accomplished his ultimate goal of ensuring her safety. And I think that's what I love about Taiyo. Wicked cool design aside, he's just a kid with a traumatic past that struggled against social anxiety ever since. But because of that, he's able to both acknowledge and appreciate what's important to him, or rather who's important to him. He makes protecting her his ultimate goal, and then goes through hell again and again in order to keep her safe. In order to forge himself into the type of man that's able to keep her safe. Once he obtains that sense of purpose so early on, his conviction and drive to make that goal into reality is unreal. To elaborate a bit, for a normal human like Taiyo to obtain the strength required to keep her safe from anybody and everybody, it would require abnormal results out the wazoo, and abnormal results require abnormal methods. Thus, trying to adapt to the Yozakura family superhuman spy lifestyle requires his entire everyday life to turn into a hellish training arc all its own. I mean, for real, the possibility of death was around each corner. Not only that, but it's not like it was something that was decided for him. I mean, sure, if you're gonna join a superhuman spy family, there's gonna be training involved. But they had initially planned on training him up gradually since he's only a normal human. It was per his own request and volition that he began training under the Yozakura training regimen in earnest almost right away. Despite it being a standard shonen trope in a way, I love to see characters that obtain a sense of purpose, a dream or a goal if you will, and then are able to genuinely pursue it with every fiber of their being. Taiyo truly takes charge of his own life, seeking to obtain results and competence, driven to protect that which he holds dear, and striving to become a man that's worthy of the woman he loves. We see Taiyo training and undergoing tough missions constantly, and thus he doesn't just talk about keeping his wife safe or becoming stronger, he lives it. He chooses to struggle on forward relentlessly, refusing to give up no matter how hard things may get. However, despite putting his own troubles aside to charge down his chosen path, it's not as if he forgets about the traumas of his past. Rather, it's one of the underlying factors that's strongest at driving him forward. He lost his family, but once he marries Mutsumi, he's gradually accepted into a new one, and as unorthodox as they may be, it's quickly cemented that family is the one thing you can trust even when you can't trust yourself. We see Taiyo go on missions with individual siblings, learning more about each of them, their talents and abilities, their personalities, etc. Along the way, he grows to cherish and care about each of them too. Essentially, he strives to be capable of living up to their expectations and protecting them should he need to. They're not necessarily a replacement for the family he's long since lost, I mean of course they're not, but they managed to fill that void that was left in his heart. Taiyo is the type that genuinely cares about the people close to him and puts their feelings and safety at the forefront of his concerns. Likewise, once it's revealed that there may be more to the death of his younger brother and parents, he chooses to pursue that truth, but the most important thing to him is making sure that no one else dies. He's experienced the loss of his family once, and the last thing he wants is to experience it again. Although, he also has moments of weakness where he fears what would happen once he embarks down the path of discovering his family's killer, and he fears what he's capable of, and it's only due to having the rock in his life that is Mutsumi that he's able to remain grounded. He's just such a multifaceted character, and I feel like I shouldn't really talk about him any further since too many people have yet to read Yozakura Family themselves. I don't want to make it drag out too long, I just really wanted to gush about my favorite protagonist in Jump and why it is that I love him. I mean, Taiyo's dedication to protecting his family would put even Vin Diesel to shame, I said it. In fact, he's a lot less hesitant and doubtful, but he kinda reminds me of Kenichi from History's Mightiest Disciple, which is one of my all-time favorite series. You know, he starts off as a relatively normal guy that's put into an environment where everyone is much stronger and more capable than himself, but he strives to become stronger to protect those precious to him. I don't know, I just thought that was a fun comparison. Regardless, from his design, to his electric gun weapon choice, to his desire for strength and his reasoning behind it, he's just so well put together, and I need more people to take notice. I've been talking about this man forever, especially over at twitch.tv/theanimedudeyt, where, like I said, I talk about anime and manga all the time. Go drop a follow over there if you want to be as cool as Taiyo. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on here. You know, that's important too. But anyways, yeah, you know, those are my thoughts on Taiyo, you know? No more excuses. Read this manga. Recognize Taiyo's greatness. He's everything we could ever ask for in a shonen protagonist, and that is why he's currently my favorite protagonist in all of Weekly Shonen Jump. Huge thank you to Kara Alter, Love Phenomenon, Inawolf, Lengert, Sid, Soulslayer, Shelly, Gamer, Gentleman, Genkotaku, Red Emperor, Rubo, Taubitzer, Wolflord, Kasim, and everyone else over on Patreon for helping to make videos like this possible. If you want to join these mad lads right here at the end of videos like this, then the link to that, alongside all my other social media, will be down in the description below. If you want to support the channel free of charge, then remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with friends, and Detroit, smash that notification bell. Thank you all for watching, and Anime Dude out.